Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. So, we are going live on Facebook and we are recording this for YouTube. I'm with my friend Kelvin Pimont.
Bonjour. Salut.
He's French, but he speaks very, very good English with no accent.
Indeed.
Okay, so this is the new option that you have on Facebook. It's called a Facebook Live. It's really cool. So you should get an alert that I'm live on Facebook. That means you can ask me questions and Kelvin is going to see it because sometimes, I need to concentrate on what I'm saying. And he's going to ask me the questions. We're going to talk about gears today. I'm going to show you what's in my camera bag. So if you can take a moment to share this link on your Facebook or on Twitter, everywhere, so we get a lot of people connecting, that'd be awesome. So we have a lot of questions today. And in any case, if you miss this, I will post this later on Facebook and I will post this later on YouTube. All right?
Cool.
So it looks like we are live. We are live from Woodland Hills, Los Angeles, California. All right. So today I want to talk about gears. The reason why I don't want to talk about gears is that I've been wanting to do what many photographers do, like what's in my bag type of video, but I was waiting for the right bag. So yesterday morning I got the right bag because there's one specific bag I've been trying to get and I want to talk to you about it and explain why I think it's a great bag and how you can get it. So right now it's not on sale, it's a Kickstarter project. So let me show it to you. This is it. This is a bag that's called the Everyday Backpack Messenger, I think that's the name. It's done by Peak Design and my good friend Trey Ratcliffe. They first came out with a bag, I want to say 6 months ago, called the Messenger bag, which you could put it, but it was on one shoulder. And it was great because you could, take out any gears you needed. The problem is that I have a lot of gear sometimes, and it's a little heavy, and it was hurting my back. So I was hoping that they would do a backpack, and they did. And so here is the backpack. And I have been using think tank bags for many years. The problem with the think tank bag is that whenever I was shooting at the beach where there is sand or dirt on the floor, I had to put the bag on the ground to take out my gear. Oh, do we have anybody?
Many people saying bonjour, bonjour.
Oh yeah, hello Susan Taylor from Colorado and Gareth Williams and Bjorg.
Björn.
How would you say?
Björn, I think it's Swedish. Björn Drager.
Yeah, pratar svenska bra. That's the only thing I know. Okay, I want to show you what's really cool about this bag. What I really like about it is for the back, when you have a lot of gear, I find that having a backpack is much better than something on the side because otherwise it just kills my bag. Let's say that I'm at the beach, I want to take a photo, I want to get something. I can just go like this, put it like this, and I know there is other bags doing that, but this is the first time I have it, and I have access to all my gears. So and I just love the way it's made. The fabric is very solid. It's very, it's very resistant. It cleans up really fast.
So if someone wanted to get it, where do they get it?
So if someone wants to get it, you can only get it on Kickstarter because they are doing a Kickstarter campaign about this bag. But if you go to photosearch.com, our website, on the gear page, you have a link. I put the link there of the Kickstarter project. You can use that, and please use that link because we get a small commission, which helps us to do all the free stuff that we're going to be doing. And we're doing a lot of free stuff, 400 free videos on YouTube.
That's a lot.
Yes. So let's open the bag and see what is inside. So first, a little warning. My go-to camera is the Sony a7R II. The only thing is right now I'm using it to film it, and I have the Sony a7S that I gave to a friend, so I only have this camera. So I cannot show you the Sony a7R II. But right now, this is being filmed with a Sony a7R II and a 24-240. Now, I've discovered this lens, the 24-240, a few months ago, and I love it. If you check out my latest YouTube video, I show you how I zoom out at 240 into the sun to get a really big sun, and I started doing landscape with that, and I get photos I would never get before. So I used to have, I'm going to show you what I used to use. I had for a long time this one. It's the 24-70, but I broke it and I need to get it repaired. And so I bought the 24-240. I wanted to test it, and I never looked back because it's really sharp. I find anywhere between 24 and 270. And for example, when I was in Yosemite, I could really punch in, like on the dome or on El Capitan and really get details from tunnel view that I was not getting with a 24-70.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions?
People saying hi. Someone saying they prefer the backpack. Will the bag help keep rain away from Paris?
No, that's the problem. That bag does not. There is an app that's being built right now to take care of the weather in Paris, but it's not out yet.
And yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool. So 2470 is one of my go-to lens. I basically shoot with and what else do I have? So let me show you what I have in here. I have also this lens. I want to talk about this lens a bit later on. That's the other lens I shoot a lot. It's a 1635. So I basically work with two lenses for my landscape work. The 24-240, which is not this one, which is the one recording right now. And this one I'm just going to get it serviced. And the 1635. 1635 because sometimes I need to go wider for big landscapes and I need that 16 where you have some rocks and you want to make sure it's in the foreground. So really this is what I travel with. Like I'm going to Switzerland for most of September. First 1 week in Paris and then 2 weeks in Switzerland. And I'm going to be, I Google like the best landscape places in Switzerland. I want to travel all over Switzerland. And I'm going to be shooting basically with these two lenses, 1635, 24-240. So I can punch in on a waterfall that's very far, or I can go very wide on something that's happening.
Are you doing a photo walk in Switzerland?
Yes, I am doing a photo walk. Actually, you're doing the one I was supposed to do one in Malibu, but you're going to be doing it.
It's going to be me.
So it's on the 17th of September. It's with 500 px, and I'm going to be doing one in Geneva. Also on the 17th of September. So if you're in Geneva, come and say hi. You can check out on my Facebook page, Photo Search. Just type Photo Search on Facebook. I would announce it. I don't know exactly where in Geneva, and honestly, I don't know. I've never been to Geneva, or maybe like just in the airport. So I don't know where to do the photo walk. So if you guys are from Switzerland, and and you want to tell me like a good spot where we can do a good photo walk, I like to do it around sunset, which is like the Malibu.
Same.
So like the first two hours, the last 2 hours of the day. And we can do it, I don't know. I want to find a great spot. So if you have any ideas, I'm all ears about Geneva. And also if you want to show me around Switzerland or some like really cool places, you can, write me on Facebook and maybe we can do some photo shoots together.
Sounds good.
That'd be cool. Anybody else?
Let's see.
Is coming live from the world?
We have...
Well, while you work that out, I'm going to... So the other thing I'm carrying with me all the time is this. Now, what is that? This is a weird experiment I'm doing. This is a Mamiya 7. It's a medium format camera from the good old days of film. It's 120 meter film. And actually, when I go on a shoot, I shoot with three strings. The Mamiya 7 for film, the Sony A7R II for digital, and the drone. So, past, present, and future. And the reason I do that is there is something about the film. I shoot with Velvia 50. It's a very colorful film. And there is a texture in film. And it's just, and also because, when I got in photography, thanks to you in 2004, 2005, it was a huge boom of digital. And so film was already almost dead. People was using less and less film. So I never got to learn film. And I really, as a professional photographer, I find that not knowing your history is bad. So that's why I have a 4x5 camera. I have a 120 meters. I'm shooting a lot of films because when you're on a cool location, if you have the film, the Sony, and the drone, I try to get as much coverage as I can. iPhone, mental photos, everything.
Someone's asking here about tripod. What
Okay.
tripod do you use and where do you put it?
I was hoping that this question was not going to come up. No, the reason is I've been using one tripod that I love so much, and I cannot show it to you because I'm getting it serviced right now because it has held up for 12 years. It's called the Gibbs Traveler. You find it on my gear page. It's an expensive tripod. I think I bought it like 800 euros 12 years ago. It's a very small Gibbs fiber carbon tripod that I love dearly, and I use a really wide staff bullhead. But I've been going so much to the beach for 10 years that the sun has been going up and it's slowly ruined. I'm getting it serviced. So I bought a new tripod last week and called the 3 Legs Things. And honestly, I was super disappointed because the bullhead that's with it, I was doing a shoot in Palo Verdes 2 days ago, and I really tightened the bullhead, and my Sony sonar fell in the water on the rocks. and I was so upset. And luckily it survived, but it's really beaten up. And so I took the ball head and threw it in the trash can, and I put my really wide staff ball head on. But even the 3-leg thing, I find is heavy, it's bulky, it's got 4 legs, which I don't like. I like the 3-leg thing with the Gizzo. So I'm just gonna go back to Gizzo or really wide stuff because that's really what I like.
Yeah, it's small, it's light. I mean, we've gone traveling so many. I have my big Mi Photo tripod that's a little taller, but whenever we go anywhere, I'm usually much more tired than you because you have this very light tripod.
Yeah, and the one thing, it might seem stupid, but when you 4 or 5 times per day, every day of your life, you have to take out 4 things. On the Mi Photo and on the 3-leg things, you have like 4 things to unscrew. I like to have only 3. It just goes much faster. Yeah. So Gibbs Traveler is my go-to. I don't get commissions for it. I actually probably will get commission for the 3-leg things, but I will not promote it because I was disappointed. Honestly, if you don't have the money to buy a Gizzo, or if you don't have the money to buy a really wide staff tripod, which is the best of the best, go for the Mi Photo. Mi Photo is good. That's and good. They have a carbon version. I cannot show it to you, but it's on my gear page. They have a carbon version, which is much lighter. It still has 4 things. Maybe they have a model with 3 things.
There's a smaller model, yeah. I have some questions here. They were asking, which lab do you use to print the slide prints?
Oh, I use darkroom.com. Amazing. If you go to darkroom.com, they give you, basically, they scan it for you. It costs, I sent one yesterday morning with 10 films. So I buy the Velvia 50, it's 10 films. It cost me, I think, $20 with the $25 and they have 3 levels of scanning. And I always take the highest, the super scan, which is roughly about a 20 million pixel file. And so what you do is they even give you a label. You put the label on and you just mail it. And like about a week later, they give you it's online, it's all scanned. And so then they also send you the negative. But I just put the negative away. I just work with the scans.
Yeah, cool.
So darkroom.com, really cool.
And there's another person asking, any thoughts about the 5D Mark IV?
Yeah, I looked at Scott Kelby just did a video on it, and there's videos all over the place for the 5D Mark IV. The only thing that I haven't seen yet, because and DP Review was talking about it, is how is it doing in low light noise? When you take another exposed photo and you open it, because the 5DS had the issue. We looked at it.
5DSR, yeah.
Yeah, you wanted to buy it, and
we rented it. We tested it, and compared to the A7R2, it was.
Yeah, like the noise level was like, ugh. Yeah. So I hope they fix that. I hope in low light situation you can open shadows, got great. No, that's my only problem with Canon, and I've seen people talking about it. I need to test it to see if they corrected that issue, because underexposing sunset is something I do all the time. Yes, you can go HDR, you can do things, but sometimes you want to get away and open up these shadows as much as you can. It's very important. So just to finish on the Mamiya S7. It's an expensive camera. It's not cheap. But when you're passionate, it's your job. I bought this is I think it's an 80mm lens that I have on it, which is the equivalent of about a 25mm. I forgot actually which one, because I just bought this new lens. Because they don't have the same. That's a 43mm lens, and which is the equivalent of about, I think, a 23mm with a 35. So it's very wide, and it's pretty decent actually. The Mamiya 7, I looked for months which medium format camera, because I didn't want to buy a 24-36. I really wanted to buy the medium format. So when you buy that lens, you have this little thing here, and you actually frame it with that. So I carry this with me all the time. It's not that heavy, and it does really amazing. It's as good as it gets for film.
What about filters?
So that is the 2 filters I use all the time. And a lot of people ask me about filters. Well, this one is actually on. Yeah, it's here. That's the one. So I use 2 filters. One is basically an ND400, that's what they call it, which is, I think it's 3 or 4 f-stops last. And the other one that I use is the ND10. So the ND10 is very dark. The ND400 is a bit brighter. I don't know if you can see that. Brighter, darker. Anyways, this one, the ND10, I use for shooting when there is clouds during the day, for like this black and white color all black and white long exposure. It only works if you got clouds because the sun, it's a blue sky and the sun doesn't really work. When it gets a bit dark, I take this one out and I put this one on, the ND400. And you find this again on the gear page. And please, if you buy anything, use the links we use on the page because we get a small commission from B&H or Amazon, whatever your store is. And it helps produce a lot of free stuff that we do.
I have a few questions here.
Yes.
What lens would you recommend between the 70-200 2.8 and the 85mm 1.8 for portrait and wedding photography?
That's a tricky question. I'm not an expert on portrait, but I will tell you this. I bought the Canon 85mm 1.4. 1.4, 85mm. It's a manual lens. It's and they have attachment for Sony, Nikon, and Canon. So I can put this directly on my Sony A7R with no adapter. This lens has an amazing bokeh. It's a $299 lens for an 85mm 1.4. It's amazing. I've done several videos on it. If you type Serge Ramelli 85 1.4 on YouTube, you'll see there's videos that talk about it. This is my go-to for portraits. I did a wedding 2 weeks ago. I did it with that. Now the 70-200 with autofocus, is a $2,500 lens, 10 times the price of this one. If I would do a professional wedding, I would buy it. I would have both. Yeah. Because this one has a bokeh that's different from the 70-200. So if you're a professional wedding photographer, go for the 70-200. Take the stabilized version, the 2.8 is like $3,000. But it's really an amazing lens. And what's great about it is you do exercise when you take photos because it's so heavy. So it's like going to the gym.
Yeah. Another question here. Do you have some tips on noise reduction? This is Björn Sven. He uses a beginner DSLR Canon 700D. He has a lot of noise in his pictures, especially with long exposures, even at ISO 100. Of course, he says, Of course I know I use the Lightroom noise reduction already.
Well, if I would be you, I would buy the Sony S7, which is like $900, and you won't have that issue. Or go Nikon. That's the problem with Canon. Canon's noise are not friendly. But if you really want to get rid of the noise, there is a plugin that I use called Noiseless from MacFan. It's on my gear page also. It's amazing to get rid of noise. It's the best of the best.
There's true. And we tried also the denoiser, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
I prefer the MacFan.
The MacFan one's good. Like what I like about it is that it detects it does like a whole detection of what the photo was shot like from the exit data and propose you a handling which is usually spot on.
Yeah.
So
if you use Mac, use the MacFan. If you have to use a PC, then you can go with the Topaz
denoiser. Yeah. Topaz denoiser is good also for PC, and you'll find all the links on the gear page. Again, it's a special gear page today.
Anything else? How often do you make a print for yourself, and what's the size you usually go with?
I usually go for so my print is 105 centimeter wide. I don't know what it is in. What do you think?
105 centimeters. It's about
3 feet, 4 feet.
Yeah, it's about 40 inches or something, 30 something inches.
I don't know. Check it out. 105 centimeter. I picked that size many years ago and I stick to it. It's about that big. And so the height is going to change because I do not crop for frames. I crop for taste. I crop for composition. And I only work with galleries and printers that will follow my cropping. For example, Bayphoto. Bayphoto has so many, that's what I use in the US, so many cropping options that I never have an issue. So it's 105 centimeter, which 40 inch, I guess, about what width. And the height depends how I compose the photo. That's what I do. If you go to Paris or anywhere in Europe for that matter, you can see my work in yellow corners, 85 galleries around the world, and you will see it's very different size. So they're very nice. They just follow what my vision is.
Cool. Somebody else is asking if do you ever use a variable ND filter at all?
I used to, and I stopped because I prefer to use the ND400 for during the day. The variable is very good when you need a bit of ND, but if you go the whole way, you get like really weird effect on your photos because there is like little, I don't know how you call it.
Croisillon.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, it's like a little cross effect. So if you go all the way, it's not good. ND variable is really good, like for video. You know, let's say you want to shoot somebody, you want to film somebody with a bright sunset, with a bright light during the day, and you want to be at 2.8. So even if you put your speed at 1/8000, you cannot be at 2.8. It's just too much light. So you put a variable on, and you can get your speed lower. Plus, you don't want a flickering effect. When you do videos with high speed, like 1/2000th of a second, you get a bit of a flickering effect on the video, like the first minutes of Gladiator. I don't know if you saw this movie from Ridley Scott. The first minute is very because every frame is very neat. If you want to get a better motion blur, you need to be at like 1/60th of a second. To be at 1/60th of a second with 2.8, you need to have a variable, and that's what I use the variable for. But for photography, it's ND10 during the day, ND400 during the night. That's it. And when it gets too dark, no NDs.
Cool. Some other questions.
Mark Jacobs, hello from MacFun in San Diego. My friends at MacFun.
Any particular reason you use Bay Photo now? One of your previous videos showed MPICs.
It's true. Because of the metal prints. I went to Photoshop World and they had a stand of metal prints, and I was like, this looks cool. And all you see here behind me is metal prints. Last week I showed one of the metal prints I just got from them. Metal prints. I only do metal prints because I love the glossy look. But a friend of mine did a drawing that I'm going to be printing on paper, but I still go with Bay Photo. They're fast. I don't know. I'm sure MPix is great. I just use them because of the metal print.
And another question: why don't you use polarizer filters?
Because I used to. Actually, I have like 20 filters. I only brought 2 on the set. I should, and because it's great for water, it's great for sky. I'm so amazed by the Sony A7R II ability to, when you open up the shadows, you still get no noise. That I underexpose my photo naturally, and so that's why. And I feel when I'm underexposing, I don't need the polarizer. But polarizer is good. I recommend polarizer actually if you go on my gear page, and I do use it sometimes. But since I got the Sony A7R, I've been using it less and less. I don't know why. It just didn't come to. I didn't need it like I used to when I was at Canon. And I love Canon. I think Canon is very well built. I love the menus in Canon. I love a lot of stuff about Canon. But I'm just, the noise is not something that I'm really happy about.
It's the one thing we don't totally agree on.
Yeah, he's more a Canon guy. Now I want to talk something about Kelvin here. I want to before we take another question. Kelvin is, as you know, is my business partner. He does all my marketing, but he's also my Photoshop guru. He's been doing Photoshop stuff for 25 years, and he's got a YouTube channel. You will find the link under this video on YouTube, or I will put it up on Facebook. It's called Kelvin Designs.
Yes.
Right. And he's coming up. He's done 16 videos or
about 20 something. Yeah.
20 videos. He's already got like over 30,000 subscribers. His channel is booming, and he really does stuff that I don't know how to do. For example, next week he's coming out with a tutorial on how to add water, or explain what it is a little bit.
So it's tomorrow morning. There's going to be an episode on my channel, and it's basically how to add a reflection to make the ground look wet. So it's not just a reflection over water, it's over stone and over, basically how to add a reflection and make it look real. There's different, anyway, it's purely Photoshop. It's more in the, anyway, it's more composite and Photoshop type stuff rather than the Lightroom type retouching.
That I do. But it's amazing because he added a bit of wave. There is like puddles. I mean, it looks just so real. He did it with the Lapin Agile, one of my favorite photo ever, which I wish it would have been rain that day. Anyway, check it out. The free episode is coming out tomorrow morning. And I've watched many tutorials about reflection. I've never seen something like this.
Cool.
Do we have any other questions?
A lot of people thanking you, how you've influenced their photography.
Well, let me say hello to Gareth William and Ischek Roof and Rodrigo Maluta and Boo Boo. Hello, Boo Boo.
They're asking in French.
Je suis désolé, je fais cette émission en anglais. I'm sorry, I'm doing this in English. I have a big following in English, and I'm sorry, and I will do more French tutorial, but. Je trouve que les caméras Sony sont super, surtout le Sony A7R for the French person.
There you go. Anyway, that's pretty much all the questions we have.
Okay, cool. What else did I want to talk about the gears? Yeah, so the 85 1.4 is really cool for the bokeh. The only problem is, and that's what I love, that's the thing I wanted to add on this one, is when you zoom, because it's a manual focus lens, if you want to take a nice portrait, there is an option on Sony 7 II where you can you just press it and it punches at 10x. And because I don't use what they call the color peaking, I find the color peaking is not exact. I want to make sure the eyes are sharp, so I go 10x on the eyes, make sure it's sharp, then I take the photo. For $2.99, it's and I always like to buy gear. I don't want to buy too expensive gear because I like to share, and I know a lot of people don't have a lot of money to buy huge amount of gear. So I always try to find like the best, cheapest but still cool stuff. Voilà.
Cool.
What time is it now? I think we're going to be wrapping up. Yeah, it's time to wrap up actually right now. Okay, guys. So I hope you liked it. Thank you, Kelvin.
Amazing. Thank you
for helping me on this. And check out his channel, Kelvin Designs. Subscribe on his channel. You will find the link on this video, below this video, everywhere. You got to check out his channel. It's amazing. Mesdames et messieurs, au revoir.